Okay, so here's something I've been thinking about. I work, with a lot of buyers, and one thing I noticed with a lot of buyers is that a lot of them are asking me when is a good time to buy a home. I also have buyers that are waiting for the market to crash so they could buy the home. Now, I could understand because especially when we had the 2008 crash, that was one of the biggest crashes in real estate. So because of that, a lot of people that bought around 2009, 2010, they were able to get really good deals. So a lot of people are waiting on that market to crash again so that they can get that really good deal. But one other thing I was thinking about is, so I work here in a neighborhood here in Huntington Beach, and a lot of the homeowners there, at least the original homeowners, they bought their home in the 60s. The homes were built in the 1964, 65. So a lot of them, they bought it for that time, which is ridiculous price, but it's $25,000. $30,000. And whenever I talk to them, they never tell me, oh, I wish I waited for the market to crash, or I'm glad I bought it, but I wish I had bought it for $22,000 when the market dropped a little bit instead of the 24,000. No one's ever talking about timing the market because they're benefiting from the benefit of having your property having time on the market. So that's something I always thought was very interesting. The same thing with, when we're talking about trying to get a deal in the market, right? People like to get a deal. And I'm with you. I want, when I'm looking to buy a house, I think I want to get the best price as possible. And that's something you should always try to get. You should try to negotiate. But when you find a home that you really like and you can see that home being your long-term property and is a good price, is losing it because you didn't get a great deal. Again, going back to those people that the original homeowners, none of them were mad that they didn't negotiate down at $23,000, 24, when they bought it for $24,000. Back to what I was saying, the whole point of it is there's a saying that rather than timing the market, what's more important is the time on the market. And another saying is don't wait to buy real estate and wait. I think that's very important. Now, of course, people that bought in 2006, a lot of them, as you know, they went in default and couldn't make the payments anymore. Of course, those people, it hurt them. And if we could predict the numbers, it would be great. But as far as I've been hearing all these predictions for ever since I've been in real estate, that's another thing to remember. And then also looking at the numbers, what's really interesting is that people that bought in 2007 at the peak, those people that were able to make the monthly payments, now they made their money back and they made their property, whatever the property they bought it for, most people is more than what they bought it for. So people that bought at what's considered the worst time to buy still made money as long as you hold on to it long enough. So the lesson from that, I think, is again, time on the market was important. And the second part is making sure that monthly payment that you have on the home is something you'll be comfortable paying, even if there's a recession. There's a recession, if you're able to make that payment, then you should be fine. And you should think about situations where what would happen if you lose the job. How would you make the payment? Would you rent out some of the rooms, right? Just to make sure you don't go into those situations. So those are things you should consider. Thing about predicting when the market's gonna crash is I started doing hard money loans when I was in college in 2017. And when I was working at the company, there was a lot of people talking at that time that the market was gonna crash because it's been going up for 9 years. Now, we know, looking back, not only did the market not crash, those 2017 prices now look like a deal. It's gone up so much higher since then. And similarly for my sister and my brother-in-law, when they're looking to buy a house, there were family members that was telling them, hey, wait till the market crashes. Those family members, they bought their homes in 2010. So for them, looking back, the lesson was wait till the market crash and then buy. But not knowing that those type of crashes doesn't happen that often. That's one of the biggest crashes in the US housing history. History repeats itself, but not every 10 years. Those kind of big crashes doesn't happen that way. But luckily for my sister and my brother-in-law, they ended up buying a house for what was at the time $950K. Now that home's worth over 1.2, 1.3. If they would have waited, buying that home would have been super difficult. Now, not only did they get to buy it for $950K, they were able to refinance at a 2.4% rate in 2020 or 2021. Now their payments are so much lower. Had they had waited, then they just wouldn't have that opportunity. Now they had time to build equity. I have a nephew. Now they're able to raise a family with the home. That's their own home. There's freedom that comes with owning your own home and raising a family, for example, in your own home. So you have to kind of think about your own life stages, right? If you're 30 and you're thinking about buying a home and if you keep waiting and waiting, when you get to the late 30s or mid 30s, it's just a different life cycle. Now, ideally, I understand we all wish we could time the market. That's something we all wish we could do. Predicting the future is extremely difficult. You can make the best guesses about it, and you can look online everywhere. There's recession, market prices gonna crash, and that's what gets people clicking. If you yell out fire, people will look. If you yell out, oh, nice warm sunny day, it just doesn't get the same attention. Or just a normal day, it just doesn't get the attention. You have to be conscious of that. People that make bold predictions, they're so certain the market's gonna crash. How are they predicting the future? Are they from the future? Are they from Back to the Future? Are they from that movie? I just wanted to get that off my mind. That's something I've been thinking about. So good luck with your home search. My tip to you is, when you are ready to buy that home, when you feel like you can make that monthly payment, buy rather than waiting for that time in the market. Buy in a location that you like and buy a home that you like rather than trying to time the market. And the same goes for sellers that are asking, should I sell my house now and then buy when the market crashes? Again, I think that's just a very extremely risky situation, because when you sell your home and then now when the market goes up or the interest rates go up, whatever the situation might be, you just might not be even able to afford that same home that you sold. So I just think it's a really risky situation. Now again, I think home is more than just an investment. I understand that. So in some situations, it's a lifestyle thing. Maybe it's the location that you live in versus a different location would give you a complete different lifestyle. A condo versus a single family residence home, that will give you a different lifestyle. The type of home would give you a different lifestyle based on possibly commute. There's just several factors. Maybe it's a 2-story and you want to downsize into a single story. All those things matter. So for some people, it's not just thinking about finance, but if you're asking about a financial decision, I think selling and waiting for the market to crash again, I think it's just a really, really risky thing to do. Alright, that's all the rambling I have for today. Hopefully that was helpful for you to hear. If you have any questions about real estate, feel free to reach out to me. My number is 626-536-4382. Till next time, bye guys.